our final game here. We have Philadelphia minus 1.5 at Kansas City at 45.5. Uncle Dave, I'll let you go first on this one. Eagles, Chiefs. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I could argue either way. I mean, the Chiefs being home underdog seems too good to be true. I mean, the last time that happened was a couple of years ago against Miami, a game that Kansas City won outright, and that was when McDaniel had that offense clicking for the Dolphins, and you know, I have to wonder if that's being an underdog is motivation for Kansas City. I mean, of course it is, or if the Eagles are simply that much better. I think both are true, Sleepy. I think what's a bigger motivator for the Chiefs is not starting the season 0-2 and basically playing themselves out of a home field advantage throughout position in week two. But is that enough to overcome a talent discrepancy? I mean, the Eagles could have well lost to Dallas, and statistically, they probably should have if you just looked at the box score. And again, we'd be talking about a different narrative here. And the same can be said about the Chiefs. I mean, they played without Kelce for a large part of the game. Mahomes was their leading rusher. I do think the Chargers are that good, even without Joey Bosa. They look great, unlike Harbaugh's. I mean, just like Harbaugh's Michigan teams. And I think Philadelphia just has the deal breaker, though, sleeping with Barkley. I mean, I would think normally that Spagnuolo would have a plan for that, but I thought so in the Super Bowl. And he didn't, and I don't think they do. I think Philadelphia just has too many options. So rather than pick a side, I'm going to go with what I know. I think the Eagles will score enough points to go over their team total. I don't think Spagnuolo can stop them. Yeah, Kansas City's motivated, but the Eagles don't want to take a step backwards. In what could be a precursor to a playoff game. Do I think the Chiefs get to the Super Bowl? No, I don't. But the Eagles want to prove dominance. So I would take the Eagles, but I do like their team total to go over. Sleepy.
All right, so Uncle Dave on the Eagles team total over. I'm on Philadelphia here, there, Uncle Dave. This line's wrong. Do you really think that the Eagles are worried about, this Kansas City Chiefs team? In years past, maybe going into Arrowhead, they would be a little bit worried. But after they blew the doors off this Chiefs team last year in the Super Bowl, Philadelphia is not worried one bit. This line's just absolutely crazy. I would make this line Philadelphia minus like 3, and I think that would get people to think a little bit. Let's be honest here. These two teams are not a good matchup for each other, and we saw that last year in the Super Bowl. That was no fluke. Patrick Mahomes had a lot of issues throwing the football because he had nobody to throw the football to. Now you lose Xavier Worthy. Rasheed Rice isn't there. Big deal. Hollywood Brown, showed up there last week, but do you really think you're going to be able to go up against the Eagles with Hollywood Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster and an aging Travis Kelce and beat these guys? Just because you have revenge doesn't mean that you're going to all of a sudden come up and just be like this much better team. Philly wants to go into Arrowhead and beat them in their building. Not just to say last year wasn't a fluke, the Super Bowl, like we beat the shit out of you, but we'll do it in your place too. And I think that Philly kind of needs one of those games, after last week. And look, Philadelphia ended up beating Dallas. I know it was a close game, but Devonta Smith, A.J. Brown, I mean, those guys were barely heard from. If it wasn't for Jalen Hurts being, Superman, Eagles probably have a tough time. But I think the Eagles were trying to knock off some rust too. Look, Kansas City's not going to the Super Bowl. I'm not even sure if this is a playoff team right now. Like they're literally one or two injuries away on either side of the ball, and I'm not saying to Mahomes, but if they lose another wide receiver, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. And God forbid something happens like Chris Jones or something like that. Like this could be a spiral for Kansas City that I think a lot of people were kind of waiting to happen with this team, but yeah, I don't know. This line just seems nuts to me. This doesn't make any sense to me. Like I think this is probably the worst Kansas City team that they're putting on the field in the last couple of years, and it doesn't help that their number one wide receiver is not going to be on the field for a number of weeks. I don't like this Kansas City team right now. I just don't. And Philadelphia is going to come in here with something to prove again to go in here and take care of Mahomes, because what happens if Philly goes in here and they get beat? Then it's like, oh, we could have beat you, da, da, da. It's like, and you start making up excuses, you know what I mean? So Philly will put that to bed. This line's wrong. It should be much higher than this. You're just getting so much line value with Philadelphia because of what Kansas City has done in the past, and they've earned it. Not taking anything away from them, but the revenge Kansas City's done, being an Arrowhead, I get it, but the line's wrong. It's Philadelphia's the side. You're going to take them. Philly's not going to lose that game.